gift, that one thing, and just giving it everything and not paying attention to the other things. What can you say to those out there that's listening about that, who may, have different ideas on different things and want to do them, but they just constantly hear, focus on that one thing, focus on that one thing. What can you say to those people right now?
You have to find your gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my gift is not government contracting.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to break everybody, any of my federal contracting officers listening. Sorry. I know my customer service is great. You love me. I'm wonderful. But that's not my gift. That's not what I wake up excited about. That's not what's in my heart. Now, I happened upon it, and it allowed me to be able to afford the lifestyle that I want to live and be able to do a lot of my other projects that aren't making much money,
mm-hmm.
or doing things for free, like going out and speaking with the Black Wall Street Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are things that I can do for free because this other job or this other part of my business affords me to do that. So that's not necessarily my gift. My gift is in talking to people about their business and basically consulting and giving common sense advice. Because I think it's just common sense, but apparently common sense ain't common. So,
nope, sure ain't.
It's really not. So, for me, because I have that goes back into the team part. Because the one thing that's my gift doesn't make me the most money. It never has.
Mm-hmm.
So because my gift, just like with teachers, when you say I want to be a teacher, you are making the decision to not make $100,000. You're making this decision to not have this crazy, wonderful, awesome financial lifestyle because you know that being a teacher doesn't pay very much, especially if you're looking at economically disadvantaged areas.
Mm-hmm.
You already know that,
yep.
right?
Yep.
So for me, knowing what I've been doing as far as consulting is concerned, it doesn't make the kind of money that I could make doing the government contracting stuff, but it's still my gift. So I focus on that while I let somebody else, like the girl that I just hired, help me focus with the government contracting because I still need those funds to come in, but I also want to live in my gift.
Yes. Yes,
so
now.
for people that have 5, 6, 7 different things that they want to do, like I have 5 projects going on right now,
mm-hmm.
but it's not just me. I have somebody that I say, hey, we're working on this co-working space. Awesome. Okay, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, you're going to have that. For consulting, that's all me because it's all my thoughts. For government contracting, you go work with this. For not so gangster, okay, my sister, my siblings, you go work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that goes back to ensure that you have a team. And yeah, I do advise that if you, especially if you're new to this whole entrepreneurship world, focus on one thing. Focus on one thing, especially if you have a full-time job that you're dedicating your days and 8 and 9 and 10 hours to. You absolutely need to focus on one thing until you know what you're doing. Until you've done all the research, until you've learned as much as you can to at least get started and start functioning. Focus on that one thing that you do very well, that's your gift. And then start bringing in other things. Because the last thing you want to do is, what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none? I don't want to have 10 so-so businesses. I'd rather have one that's doing really well.
Yeah, now that saying, Jack of all trades, master of none, I changed it because I also do a lot of things, and everyone that knows me knows I think I run about 7 different businesses, but like Connie said, most of them, except I think one, all but one, I have a team with everyone, and that one I'm working on building a team as well. So I changed the saying. I'm the Jack of all trades and master of one, and that one thing that I master at is just being a servant and a child of God. So my thing is learning what my purpose was. I found out my purpose was to help people and to preach the word of God to the kingdom and to save souls and to build the kingdom of God. So everything that I do in some way, shape, or form is aimed at helping people to grow or helping people to find God. Strictly. So yeah, I'm the jack of all trades, and that's what I'm a master. I'm a master at being a child of God. So that's what I focus on. But Connie, you just touched on something that I think, can really, really help people understand some of the great aspects and benefits of partnering and teaming up. Now, you talked about speaking on the Black Wall Street Tour for free. Now, I know David Shands was on your show I think your first show, and he spoke about the Black Wall Street tour, and I think I'm not sure, guys, but I think that actually David was actually on our first show of Business Blitz as well last year, and I think he spoke about Black Wall Street tour. I can't remember because I think they were pretty new still at that time, so I don't remember if we talked about Black Wall Street tour or just Sleepers for Suckers, but partnering and teaming up with other like-minded people, you do it for free, but what kind of benefits can you gain from, meeting these new people, being in this environment with these people and teaming up and just going out and just working together? What kind of benefits can you gain from that, Connie?
You get all the benefits. I mean, because you need to find people that fill in the blanks to your team. So, for example, had I not started getting active in the Black Wall Street tour and on our Sleepless Society on GroupMe, there's so many people that I never would have met you. I wouldn't have a radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I wouldn't be getting interviews right now. All that is a portion of how you meet people and being active and networking. Like Corey Moore, who was on my show on the first day, talked about how important networking is in building your business. And if you don't get out and meet people and introduce yourself and tell people what you do and find out what they do, you can't build your business.
Definitely, and you talked about that.
I need people on my team. I need people to support me.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
I need people to support me, just like I need to support other people, especially people that look like me. We need help in our communities, and that's where Black Wall Street came from. Back in the good old days where we had our own businesses and our own blocks, and we supported each other solely buying from each other's businesses. And once that got burnt down and tore down, we kind of just fell apart as a people with buying from our own community. And that's what I support. So having a group like Black Wall Street Tour and the Sleepless Society, that means I can go in and say, hey, I need a plumber. Then I can scroll through a list of 400 black folks that look like me to come in and help me with my plumbing. Or if I need an accountant, or I need tax services, or whatever I need, I have a network full of people that can get the job done for me.
Yes, indeed. And that all goes back to teaming up and networking. And on your first show, when I can't, what's his name? The gentleman you had on that was talking about networking.
Corey Moore. He's actually here with me now. I told him that I might need a backup on our call today, so he's here with me. So any networking questions that you have, I have them right here.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So, yeah, now, that show was amazing, and the information that he was giving out on networking was very, very beneficial to me, and I know the listeners out there that listen to Love and Money on that episode got a lot out of it as well. And it's funny because, so, I'll break this down for you guys real quick. David Shands, I've known him since 1999. We went to high school together. We played on the basketball team together. We played in the NBA Hoop It Up tournament together, the 3-on-3 tournament. We won a championship. We've known each other for like ever, right? And that's how I ended up in this circle with all these amazing people, all these amazing business folk and entrepreneurs. And I mean, if it wasn't for me being in that area and knowing who I knew, I wouldn't have this show right now. And it's crazy because I knew Danny way before the Sleepless Society, way before Black Wall Street Tour. I think it was actually a little bit before, Sleepless for Suckers was out. But, I mean, I met Danny, and you guys all know the story of the Melting Pot Radio Network and how we got started. If you don't, I'll share again. So, it was about 6 years ago. Dan and I were both in the sports industry, so we both was on sports talk radio and did some sports writing. So that's the industry that we met in, and we built a relationship, and we went from there. And we had an idea because she always focused on the mental aspect of sports, the person aspect instead of just the scores and the highlights and stuff like that. She focused on why people did the things they do in sports and the different choices they made and that whole different avenue. So, we had an idea of joining together and creating a sports show. And, life happens all the time. Life always seems to happen, and so it just never happened. It just never came to fruition. So it was last year. I saw Dave posting about the conference call, so I started calling in on the conference call. That's my boy. I wanted to support him, and I didn't expect to grow the way I did. That's for sure. I'm just supporting my boy. I try to support as much as possible, and that's another aspect of teaming up that I'll talk about a little bit later. But I just wanted to support my boy, and I started changing on that call. It was like, yo, hold up. Like, I'm starting to think a little differently. I started reading books, y'all. I didn't read books. I started reading books, and then it was like, hey, Danny, I know you have your business. You're an entrepreneur. Just get on this call, girl. And I'm telling you, she got on the call. After that call, it was about 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, 2:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and we was on the phone like, yo, remember we was talking about starting that radio show? Man, I'm fired up after this call. We need to start a radio network because we're in different points in time in our lives. We're not just sports folk anymore. We run businesses. We're entrepreneurs. We're also in the ministry. So it's like, let's do the things that we're in now. So we started a whole network, and that's how the Melting Pot Radio Network began. And it all started because of networking and being in that environment around other people. And, at that point in time, I didn't team up with anybody at that point in time, but as it so happened, I ended up teaming up with Danny. We started this network, and then we started teaming up with so many of the great individuals in the Sleepless Society and having them on our shows. And then a few of our first guests that we even had on the network, they now have their own shows on the network. It's amazing. And that's Connie, Bishop Coleman, and Jonathan Kegler, who were all some of the first guests that we had on the network. And, just the growth that I've had in myself. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. I mean, I can see what I see, and I believe that everyone else has grown in that time frame as well. I can't speak for nobody but myself. I know I have. And it all goes back to, teaming up and being in that environment. And I actually started doing more teaming up because somebody else who I actually lived in the same city with for years, but never met him, Jason Jones, the owner of Daddy Up. I never knew him. We went to the same school. He graduated actually before I got there, so that knocked that out the way. But I mean, we lived in the same area. We hung with the same people, but I never knew him. And then being in the Sleepless Society, being on the Monday night meeting of the Minds call, that's when we actually connected. And, we've actually partnered and did some things together now. So teaming up, working together, and just doing all of those different things, it all started from that aspect. And now I was talking about supporting Connie, and yeah, we're gonna talk to Corey in a second. Since you got him there, we might as well. I'm going to have to add him to the highlights because networking is very, very key. And so supporting, as far as partnering and teaming up, you wanna find different people and meet different people, which goes to networking. But at the same time, a lot of people, they may not know exactly what they want to do, or they may see someone that's doing something that they want to do. And I always been a strong advocate for helping everybody out. I just always been that person that just wants to help the world, which, at times can be foolish. Everyone wants to save the world, but it's a little difficult, y'all. It's a little difficult. So supporting others and being there. What can you say to add into that as far as, supporting others, volunteering, helping others reach their goals, and how, that can help you in the long run?
Wow. It's crazy that you asked that because I just met with Jeremy Anderson this morning. We had lunch, talk about a couple of projects that we're working on. I'm helping him book college tours, and just the Lord told me one day at David's book signing to go and tell him that I would help him. And I was like, I don't have time. was like goat